Welcome back to the show. We have a very special guest joining us now as the NFL draft is quickly approaching. And he is one Razorback that hopes to hear his name called in those rounds. And it's going to be wide receiver Isaac TeSlaa. And we're so excited to have you join the show, Isaac, because we got to sit down with Andrew just yesterday. And I didn't know this, but you guys roomed together at the Combine. Is that true?
It is true. Yes, we did.
What was that like? Just getting to room with him, having some, someone there that that you're comfortable with. What was that like to just get to experience that with him?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we had Jaquin and Jackson in the room quite a bit too. So we were all hanging out, having a good time, reminiscing about the old times back in Arkansas.
Oh, the old times. Not that old. Come on. It's not
Oh
that
man,
old. Not that old. Don't make it
the
seem
glory
that
days, the glory days.
don't make it seem that far away. Let's talk about the NFL Combine though, because my oh my, I'm sure you've heard this all over now. I've been in Michigan, here, everywhere. You just turned so many heads. If people didn't know the name Isaac TeSlaa, they definitely did after the NFL Combine, because especially you talked about it, your relative athleticism score, a 997, which ranked best among the wide receivers. But not only that, I think it was 16th best out of wide receivers from 1987 to 2025. That's insane. Insanity. Did you know you did that right away? I mean, when did you find that out?
I didn't know right away. Obviously, I knew my scores, and I felt pretty good about how I did. But then I had my friends sending me. I think someone tweeted it out or something. So everyone was sending me that tweet. So I saw it. And I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, you think about all the guys. I don't even know who was ahead of me, but I can assume like a DK Metcalf, a Calvin Johnson, something like that. So it's cool to be kind of in the conversation with, at least the athleticism part of it, to kind of be stacked up next to those guys.
Absolutely. And talking about your performance just a little bit there, I mean, we knew that you could do that here at Arkansas. I don't think the world really knew that that's what Isaac TeSlaa could do. What was the mentality going into the Combine? I mean, how did you have such an all-around great day?
Yeah, I mean, I just got to thank my trainer, or all the trainers over at X3, especially Jordan Llewellyn. I was over down in Fort Myers for like two to 3 months, just continually working every day on my training, working every day to do as good as I could at all the events I'd be doing. So, I mean, big thank you to them. And I got to give a shout out to Chimere DK. Him and I were working together every single day, receiver over at Florida. So him and I became really good friends, and we're doing all the training and recovery together. So I just got to give him a shout out.
Oh, absolutely. It's good to have people in your corner and in your circle. Leading up to obviously the draft, you're working out, you're getting yourself prepared. How are you doing that right now? I know you're back in Michigan. You said before we started the interview that you're working out at your high school, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, just it's about 5 minutes from my house, so a nice little easy car ride. Get over there and just get my work in. We got a field, we got a track, a whole weight room, so it's a great setup, and I can just do the things I need to continually get better and get myself ready for not only when I get drafted, but when I eventually move to whatever city I'm going to be moving to, and making sure I'm setting myself up to do the best there.
I've seen so many, different insiders saying he's met with this team, he's met with this team, he's met with this team. We get to kind of hear some of those things. Can you give us a little peek behind the curtain and let us know some of the teams maybe you've talked to and who's maybe kind of interested in Isaac TeSlaa right now?
Yeah, I mean, to remember specifically might be tough, but in terms of like top 30 visits, I have one coming up with the Saints, the Lions, the Bills, and then a member of the Rams front office is flying here to meet with me. So those are like the top 30 visits. And then outside of that, I've had a bunch of Zoom calls with teams, meeting with the wide receiver coach, kind of just going through installs and watching my tape, and just get to know a little bit about me.
Or when you're talking to those teams, what's your sales pitch? What are these teams getting in a wide receiver like you?
Yeah, I mean, it's less of a sales pitch and more like turning on the tape and be like, here, this is what I can do. These are the things I can work on. These are the things I do well. So it's really, obviously I got, I'm athletic. We talked about all that already. I got good size, good ball skills. I can catch the ball really well. I can run block. So I think a lot of teams, like my versatility. You can move me around the field, and I think I can do a bunch of things well. And I think a lot of teams like that.
Andrew was talking about some of the things that he feels that he can work on, that he can develop when he gets to the league. Are there some parts of your game where you're going, this is where I'd like to, get better at when I get drafted and go to a team? Where do you feel like there are aspects of your game that you haven't unlocked your full potential just yet?
Yeah, I'm sure if you ask any receiver in the league if they had anything they need to refine in their game, they tell you absolutely. If you go talk to Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not where I need to be. I can continue to work every day." So, I mean, there's always little things you can refine for me. I did play a lot of inside this year, so working on my route tree on the outside and continuing to work on beating man coverage, press, kind of getting in and out of my breaks with my big frame and everything like that. So, just I mean, every day, just continuing to refine the small details.
You have this mentality, and I know Andrew talked about this when we sat down the other day. You and him both kind of very similar mentality when you were here at Arkansas of just doing whatever you needed to do to help the team win. And do you feel like that's something else? You talk about your tape, you talk about how you are as a player, but even just you off the field as well. Do you think those are all aspects that can help you when it comes to playing in the pros?
For sure. I mean, I'm just grateful. Andrew and I and Tyrone all got to, we were in the room for 2 years together, kind of got to transfer in together and graduate together. So I think we were all super bought into what we were doing at Arkansas. And I think, a lot of scouts appreciate the hard work that we put in and everything we put in on the field and off the field and kind of just our work ethic in general. I think it was a good group of guys, and I'm extremely grateful for them.
How did Arkansas help you specifically preparing for this moment, getting ready for the draft, and then possibly going to the next level and playing at the next level? How did they specifically prepare you for it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for the coaches. We bring scouts in a lot to practice, so coaches and our weight room guys and everyone, kind of just talking to those scouts about us. Obviously bringing them in and they can see us what we do in practice, kind of how we handle ourselves. But I mean, just the ability to go up against SEC competition every single day, and then obviously playing against SEC teams on Saturday, I feel like is the best thing that you can do for yourself in order to set yourself up for playing in the NFL, because the SEC is the best conference.
Absolutely. Andrew and I just talked about that the other day. It's like when you can produce and put up stats like he has, like you have in the toughest conference, that's got to mean something, right? It's got to mean something to these scouts. It's got to mean something to those coaches in the NFL as well. Isaac, you've talked about a little bit of your sales pitch, but wherever you go, what kind of player person are they getting, that team specifically getting?
Yeah, I like to say I'm a gritty player, someone who loves the game, who's not afraid to do all the dirty work. But outside of that, I'm just a ball player. Whatever needs to be done, I'll do it, whether that's on offense or on special teams. I'm going to find a role and just do my best to learn the entire playbook, watch film, and just continually get better every single day and just lock into what the coaches want from me and just continuing to work hard every single day.
What would it mean for you to be drafted, to hear your name called later this month?
Man, I really don't get nervous much, but definitely sitting there, on day 2 and day 3, waiting for that phone to ring. I'm definitely going to have some nerves and, maybe a little bit of anxiety, kind of just waiting, maybe not anxiety, just excitement, waiting for, that phone to ring and kind of hear who's on the other line. Is just something I've always dreamed of since I was a kid. And I'm going to have a bunch of friends and family around who are all going to be super excited for me too. So I'm just grateful for my support system and everyone who supported me and helped me get to this point.
Will you be in Michigan for the draft?
Yes, I will.
Oh, that'll be so nice. And probably a big draft party, lots of people. That's always the best way to celebrate those
Mhm.
big moments for sure. I love when we see players do that all the time. And I know Andrew was talking about being home for his too. Speaking of Andrew, I asked him, hey, what are teams getting if they draft Isaac TeSlaa? I'm going to ask you the same thing. What are teams going to get if they draft Andrew Armstrong?
Well, I mean, there's a reason that dude was top dog in the SEC in receiving yards. I mean, he does it all. I'm super proud of him. It's been a pleasure to be able to play with him, and him and I, we learn from each other, and we're at practice every day in the weight room, working spring, summer. So I mean, that dude's a hard worker, and obviously you can turn on the tape and see that dude's a ball player. He can catch any ball. He can make dudes miss. He's fast. He's elusive. So man, I'm just excited to see where he ends up, and I know him and I are both going to have success at the next level.
Absolutely. I keep telling him he's a sleeper pick, right? Do you kind of agree with that? I'm like, man, people are overlooking him right now, big time.
I don't know why he's a sleeper pick. I think, yeah, he shouldn't be. He should be top dog for sure.
I agree with you completely. I'm not an NFL scout, but I mean, all you have to do is, like you said, look at the tape, look at the numbers, and yeah. Come on, guys. Come on. What are we doing? That's my pitch to any NFL teams who are listening to this right now. Isaac, you've talked about so much about Arkansas, how they've helped you, what it means to be a Razorback. But I'm going to ask you again, how awesome was it to come to Arkansas from a D2 school, be on a stage like an SEC team? I mean, what did that mean for you just to be here and make your mark on the Razorbacks?
Yeah, it meant a lot to me. Obviously, coming from a smaller school in Hillsdale, obviously, I had a lot of big support there, and I was able to have a lot of success there. So grateful for everyone, every single one of my teammates there, the coaches, and everyone from Hillsdale. And then obviously the opportunity to kind of make a jump up to the SEC and play in front of the entire state of Arkansas is something that I'm super proud of. I'm so happy I was able to wear that Arkansas and wear that hog on my helmet. So super grateful, and just so much support and love. I get people telling me every day how much they love that I was a Razorback and I stuck around. So, like I said, just grateful for the opportunity, and I'm happy. I'm going to be tied to Arkansas for the rest of my life and throughout my entire career.
I love that. You also, it felt like throughout the season, you just kept getting better and better and better, right? And in that Liberty Bowl, that's where everyone was like, whoa, this guy is awesome. And I'm like, well, if you didn't know that already, you weren't watching the other parts of the season. But even then, going to the Senior Bowl as well and doing really well there, then the NFL Combine. Just what has it been? Just from the start, the end of the season, going into the Liberty Bowl, then going to the Senior Bowl. What has it been? Have you felt a change, or has that just been in you this whole time?
Yeah, no, I think it's all about just seizing every opportunity that I've gotten. I think I've always had belief in myself as a player, and just the ability to go out there and show that at different stages, obviously, throughout the season, and then at the bowl game and at the Hula Bowl, Senior Bowl, Combine. For me, it's just every opportunity I get, making sure I'm putting out there, who I am as a player and a person, and just allowing teams and whoever's watching to kind of learn about me through that and see, that I can make plays out there. And I deserve to be playing at the next level.
We've talked about what it would mean for you to play in the NFL. I mean, you are a guy right now that has so much potential, I want to say, because there are even still people after the NFL Combine, after everything that we just talked about, still are going, okay, but is he going to have a long career in the league? Is he going to do this? What is he going to do? I mean, answer this yourself. I mean, you think that you will be an asset to any team that drafts you. I mean, what do you think will be your kind of role, I guess, moving forward with whatever team that drafts you? What are you kind of thinking there?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that was kind of harped into me kind of throughout my time at Arkansas is just the importance of special teams. So I made sure I was playing a lot of special teams at Arkansas, and kind of giving it my all with that. And obviously, there's limited spots on a team and on an NFL roster, 53, and then I think it's like 47 that travels. So making sure you find your role on teams first and foremost. But outside of that, just every opportunity I get, making sure I'm learning the entire playbook, making sure I'm really smart, kind of, you can move me around and just give myself the best opportunity to be out there on the field. And then when I'm out there on the field, make plays so they can't take me off the field. It's kind of my mentality.
A lot of people talking about Arkansas this upcoming season. The wide receiver room, you guys, not a lot of guys left there, right? With you and Andrew leaving and some other guys as well. Lots of new faces. Do you think the Razorbacks will be okay there? There's a lot of talent that Sam Pittman brought in. Can you kind of give us what you've seen maybe from the few spring practices you've gotten to go to?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the clips on Instagram, and obviously, I was able to go to a practice or two when I was back in Arkansas. I think they got some real dudes. Obviously, you don't have the height that Andrew and Tyrone and I had, which is obviously hard to find, especially with someone like Tyrone who's 6'7" or whatever. So I think they're going to be just fine. I think it's cool to see Monte making plays out there. I have a lot of love for him and just kind of the journey that he's had. So I'm just excited for that room, and I think no worries at all. I think they're going to do great out there.
Andrew mentioned, Talon maybe needs to be in the Heisman conversation. I mean, do you have that much faith in him as well? I mean, you're literally saying yes right now, asking that question. Why do you think Talon is just going to have a huge year with the Razorbacks?
Yeah, I think just another year in the SEC and another year under Petrino's offense is just going to do so many good things for him. I mean, you think about, I mean, you don't necessarily want to make a comparison, but you think about Petrino and Lamar Jackson when Lamar Jackson was his second year with Petrino. He did, I mean, he just did incredible things. So, you know, you don't want to make a comparison like that because obviously, you know, that's big shoes to fill. But I think Talon has the ability to play at such a high level and he does so many things well. I'm just excited to see how he does this year, and I have a lot of faith in him. And like Andrew said, man, dark horse handed Heisman candidate for sure.
I think he's a dark horse too. I know that's crazy to say, just seeing him a little bit in spring ball, but after sitting down with him, you got to say, man, he is just much more. He's just different. He's different. And that's the only way I can describe it. When people say that he's just different, I think it is. He's calm, cool, and collected, ready to take on whatever year two brings him. Isaac, thank you so much for joining us today. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Man, I just gotta say, you know, the only reason I'm in this spot is because of Jesus Christ and just the faith that I have in Him and everything, all the prayers that have been put up in my direction. So I just got to make sure I don't, you know, I don't take that lightly, and you know, I put that out there.
Oh, I love that. I'm glad that we ended. We'll end on that great note. Thank you so much again for joining us, Isaac, and best of luck at the draft at the end of the month. We can't wait to cheer you on wherever you end up.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Courtney.